What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Sons of Sever YouTube channel, where there's no such thing as bad weather, only bad gear. My name is Eric. Today, my brother Chris and I are going to be reviewing two of our favorite trail shoes and comparing them toe to toe. We've got the Lems Primal Pursuit versus the Bahe Revive. Let's get into it. So these reviews tend to go pretty long. Let's just jump into it. Chris and I are going to go back and forth talking about different aspects of the shoes and comparing them head to head. I'm going to send it over to him now so that he can get us started.
The first thing I'm going to talk about, it's three different kind of subcategories, and they're all intertwined with each other. So it's the stack height, the flexibility, and the ground feel of these shoes. So starting with the stack height of the Primal Pursuit, we do have 18.5 millimeters overall. We're going to call it 14.5 millimeters though, because Eric and I didn't use the insole in these very much. We opted to take those out pretty early so that we could get a little bit lower to the ground and bring that stack height down. Moving over to the Bahe Revive, we have a 10 millimeter overall stack height, and I did play around with taking out the 3 millimeter insole for a while there. I liked the extra volume it gave me, but I prefer to have it in, especially for trail running or just dedicated running. Having this as a dedicated running shoe, you're definitely going to want that insole in there at some point. I think 10 millimeters is a really nice stack height for that kind of roll. Moving into the ground feel aspect of the shoes, obviously the shoe that's thinner is generally going to do better when it comes to ground feel. So the Bahe Revive definitely has the better ground feel. I think it also has a thinner outsole overall. So these are both rubber outsole, EVA midsole, and then footbed with an insole of some kind. This has less rubber. Now that could be good or bad, but for ground feel specifically, that is going to be really good. So when it comes to the ground feel, the Bahe Revive definitely wins that. This is not to say that the ground feel of the Pursuit is bad. It's actually very good, especially compared to other shoes that would be considered in the same category of like a dedicated hiking or trail running shoe. This guy does pretty good with the ground feel, just not as good as the Revive. Lastly, talking about the flexibility, this is going to be an easy one. Starting with the Pursuit, it is a little bit more rigid, and some of that is going to be because of the upper materials and what it's constructed out of. Some people are going to want that in this specific kind of shoe, more rigidity in the upper for more support for the foot, but I feel like for a strong-footed person, which I would consider myself as at this point, the Bahe Revive does a really good job, and it's way more flexible. It's definitely noticeable on foot how much more flexible this shoe is than other shoes in this category. So I've got to give the flexibility to this guy, and that's going to give this overall category to the Bahe Revive. I think when it comes to the stack height, the flexibility, and the ground feel, this thing crushes it. It has a really good balance of those three things.
All right, the first comparison that I'm going to make is going to be between the two outsoles of these shoes. Now, when it comes to the materials that they're made out of, the Bahes are made out of a 65% natural rubber. I'm not sure what the rest of it is. It doesn't say on the website. And then the Lems are a full rubber outsole, which is good for Lems. They use a proprietary injection blown rubber on a lot of their shoes, and it doesn't last very long. But this one, being a full rubber outsole, is a lot more durable. And when it comes to the durability between the two of them, I know that Chris's Bahes have started to lose some of their lugs, and his Primal Pursuits seem to be holding up a little bit more. He's a little bit tougher on his shoes than I am, but it does seem like the Lems are a little bit more durable. Now these ones I think are going to be a little bit more aggressive and a little more grippy on the trails too. They've got those nice teeth in there that will really dig in, but the Bahes are a little more versatile. These do a really good job running on roads as well as on trails. So I think it just comes down to what you're looking for when it comes to this category.
Next category I'm going to talk about is going to be the upper materials and the durability of those uppers. They're very different. So starting with the Primal Pursuit, we have some leather and some polyester air mesh. That's kind of the brunt of what it's made up of. Very typical for a shoe like this. Going to be very durable over time. Moving over to the Bahe, it is a very different story for the Revive. So I'm just going to read this off of their website because there is a list. The outsole is 65% natural rubber. The midsole is 5% sugarcane EVA. The footbed is 72% corn polymer. The upper and the lining are each 30% recycled polyester mesh. The laces are organic cotton, and we have TPU reinforcements at the toe and at the heel. So this is a bit of a wash for me because the materials of the Bahe upper are more comfortable, more pliable, more flexible. We've shown that a little bit in the first bit that I talked about with these shoes. Plenty supportive if that's something that you're looking for, but not overly supportive to the point where that upper is rigid. It's also water resistant, and we've tested it. It's really good when it comes to water. Moving over to this guy, it breathes really well, and I think it's going to be the more durable option. So that's why this is a wash. I think that the upper of the Revive is more comfortable, and the upper of the Primal Pursuit is going to be more durable. So they kind of each win a point here.
Next up, let's talk about the toe box width. It's always a very important discussion when it comes to barefoot shoes. And just holding them up like this, I think you can see that the Bahés are a little bit wider and probably a little bit more naturally shaped. And you can see that on the bottom of the shoes as well. You can see that the Lems tapers a little bit more on your pinky toe side than the Bahé does. This one stays wider for longer, giving your pinky a little bit more room to splay out there. Now, I think that Lems did it with this shoe because it's more of an athletic shoe, and usually when it comes to their athletic shoes, they make them a little bit more form-fitting. This is built on Lems Wide Last, which is their middle category. So they've got shoes that have thinner toe boxes, and then they've got ones that have wider toe boxes than this. And we wish they would just build all their shoes on their widest last, like the Primal 3 or the Primal Zen. Those feel so comfortable. But again, I think when they're making it an athletic shoe, they want it to form to your foot just a little bit more to give you that extra security, but I think that their widest last actually provides enough of that. Your foot really doesn't move around too much. So the Bahés, I think, do a really good job with their toe box width. We like it a lot. It's a little bit wider than the Lems. It's not too wide, again, so that your foot kind of moves around in the shoe. We really enjoy this one. All right, before sending it back over to Chris again, we wanted to take a moment here to talk about some of the affiliates that we have going on with this channel. The two obvious ones for today are Lems and Bahe. We do have affiliate links to both of these shoes. So if this video has piqued your interest in them at all, then use those links down in the description to get to their website. That really helps the channel out. If you do make a purchase, it gives us a small commission off of that purchase, and it really helps us to keep things going on the channel.
The next category I'm going to talk about is the comfort difference between these two shoes. I'm going to borrow from some of the previous points that we've already talked about so far, but starting with the toe box width of these guys, which Eric just talked about, the Primal Pursuit comes in the wide last from Lems. So they have a narrower last than this, and they have a widest last that is wider than this. We have some other shoes that are in the wide middle category, just like this shoe. I find that they're just a little bit wider. I do like the toe box of the Revive quite a bit more. I can very comfortably wear toe spacers in this guy, and it makes it a much more comfortable shoe from that aspect. Going back to the first category of things that I was talking about when it came to the stack height, flexibility, and ground feel of the shoes, I think the Revive is a bit of a knockout punch when it comes to all these things. And also going into the next category that I talked about after that with the upper materials, the upper's really comfortable. The ground feel level is extremely comfortable. You can take that insole out if you want more ground feel. You can put it in if you want a little bit more cushiness like I did. You can really play with this thing to kind of make it just right for you. But I think overall, this is definitely the more comfortable shoe.
All right, last up, let's talk about the price difference. And the Lems Primal Pursuit comes in at $130 USD. And the Bahe is listed now at $193 USD. So quite a big difference there. And you do get a little bit extra from the Bahés in that they have the grounding technology that comes with them. So if that's something that's important to you, it's something that you definitely believe in, then the Bahe is going to be the answer, but you're going to have to pony up the extra cash for it. Now, as far as our opinion on grounding goes, we're still not 100% sold on it, but we both did experience injuries before we started running in these shoes, and then we felt like at least the inflammation surrounding those injuries did seem to go away after wearing them. Like my Achilles was acting up quite a bit. I decided to wear these for a full week and just see what would happen, and it didn't seem to be getting better at all until after I wore these for that full week, and then it felt better than it had for about 3 or 4 months after that point. So whether that was due to the grounding technology or not, I can't say. This is kind of just anecdotal, but I did start to feel better after I wore these more consistently, which is pretty cool. And I think that that is why the extra price is there, because there are purported benefits to having shoes that connect you electrically to the earth. That's definitely something that you can go look into more. We're not going to go too deep into it on this video, obviously, but the extra money is going to give you those benefits. If you're looking for something a little bit cheaper, something that I think is a little bit more rugged and is going to give you more traction on the trail, then the Pursuit is a good way to go. As far as me choosing one of these over the other, it's really tough. I like both of them a lot, but I do think that I like the versatility that comes out of the Bahe a little bit more. I like that I can run very comfortably with it on the road as well as on the trails. The price is kind of a deterrent for me. That is a lot of money for a running shoe, but I do think that it serves a lot of purposes. It's a good looking shoe too. You can definitely just wear this around casually, and then you can use it on the road, you can use it on the trail, and it gives you those grounding benefits. So I do think that it could replace a lot of the shoes that are in your closet, and then that price might be worth it for you. It just depends on your situation and what you're looking for. So let's send it back over to Chris now so that he can give you his final opinion and close out the video for us.
Before I give you the outro of the video, I want to give you my final opinion when it comes to these two shoes. Which one would I choose if I could only choose one? You could probably tell from watching the categories that I went through, because in every single one of those categories, the Bahe Revive won. It's way easier for me to talk about the Bahe and why it wins in terms of the two things that I think that the Pursuit does better. One of those is going to be traction from the outsole. The teeth on this guy are mean and they bite in really good. So for a trail running shoe and just a hiking shoe in general, if you're looking for a low ankle hiker, that traction is going to be fantastic. That upper is also going to be way more durable in the long run, in my opinion. Neither of these have failed yet when it comes to the upper, but if I had to put money on it, I'd give it to the Pursuit. But for almost every other reason, I love the Bahe Revive more. I think that the stack height is perfect for me when it comes to a dedicated running shoe. I think that the flexibility is fantastic. The materials they used are extremely comfortable on foot. The grounding aspect is pretty cool overall. I think that's a really nice concept. I love this shoe. Make sure to check out the link down in the description to take you over to Bahe and grab yourself a pair. Secret for you, Bahe is about to set the barefoot shoe world on fire. We can't give you the details, but what we can tell you is subscribe to our YouTube channel, go and follow us on Instagram, and whenever something from Bahe drops, you will know from us. Folks, if you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. All those things really help us out when it comes to the YouTube algorithm. If you're interested in any of the products that we talked about in this video, make sure to head down to the links in the description. If we have discount codes for those companies, those will be with the links. If you're interested in exclusive behind-the-scenes content that you won't get anywhere else from us, or you want to help the channel out financially, head down to the link in the description that will take you over to our Patreon page. It is only $1 a month to subscribe there. Go follow us on Instagram. It's the first place where we post about products that we're working with. So if you want to know what's coming down the review pipeline, go follow us there to see the unboxing videos. Make sure to also follow us on Strava, which, if you haven't heard of it, is a really cool social media platform where you can track all of the activity that you do. So if you run, hike, lift weights, swim, paddleboard, whatever it is, you can track all of that on Strava. We do, and we also mention all of the different products that we're working with when it comes to those activities, and we post little mini reviews of those products in our posts on Strava. Follow us there, and we'll follow you back. We're glad you're here. We appreciate your view, and as always, we will catch you in the mountains.